Correct me if I'm wrong, or as George Bush used to say, maybe I'm misremembering. Not to be confused with misinformation, which is spread like a woke fungus throughout the mainstream media, but correct me if I'm wrong. About a month ago, I thought I remembered seeing an internal memo, maybe a press release from The Athletic, claiming that the site was going to go back to focusing strictly on sports. It was similar to the edict from ESPN several years ago. We are leaving politics alone. We are a sports network. Our focus must remain on sports. Management at The Athletic told their writers, no more talking about politics. Cover sports related stories, leave your political opinion out of it. If I am remembering correctly, it was about this time last month when this policy went into effect, and they barely made it 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I was doing some research this afternoon about Jemele Hill. I planned on talking about her getting absolutely owned on Twitter yesterday, which should not be surprising. Jemele Hill's a level 1 dumbass, along with being a huge embarrassing failure. She's the female version of Imani Jones. Or at least I think Jemele Hill identifies as a woman. She damn sure doesn't look like one. Anyway, I open up a new tab on my browser, and I noticed a story from The Athletic. The headline reads, "They don't look like me. It's off-putting. England women in lack of non-white role models." What? I'm from America. Even I can name famous minorities from England: Alicia Dixon, Idris Elba, Naomi Campbell. Isn't one of the members of the royal family, isn't one of those dudes married to a black woman, or maybe that girl was pretending to be a black woman? I don't know the story, don't quote me on that. Either way, I know that's only 3 or 4 people, but let's face the facts here. There ain't a lot of black people living in England. Over 80% of the population is white. It stands to reason most of your athletes, most of your celebrities in England are going to be white. Go find a famous white person that was born in Congo. Go find a famous white person that was born and living in Ethiopia. Ain't gonna happen. But those pesky facts, we can't allow them to get in the way of pushing the agenda. The primary focus of this article in The Athletic was addressing the lack of diversity in women's soccer in England. Hold on a minute. Hold on just a second. I thought the idea behind pushing women's sports into the mainstream was so all women could be noticed. I'm quickly starting to figure out the shitfucks, they're not concerned with all women being recognized. They're only worried about what they call marginalized women. Are you following the logic so far? I know it's tough. Basically, when it fits the narrative, when we're talking about something like abortion, all women are marginalized. But when we're talking about sports, only women of color are marginalized. The premise of this article is about how minority kids in England don't have representation. They don't have heroes, people they can look up to on the women's soccer team. Oh, the kids. It's all about the kids. These children don't have heroes. They don't have athletes they can idolize. It is not possible for a young black girl to look up to a white woman. Are you out of your fucking mind? I was in elementary school during the height of Michael Jordan's popularity. I went to a private school back then. 95% of the kids were white. Damn near all the boys at my school idolized Michael Jordan. You know how many of us gave a fuck that he was black? How many white kids who looked up to Kobe Bryant cared that he was black? At one point, Michael Vick, he was the most popular athlete in the country. Did anyone care that he was black? Kids don't see color. Adults do. The Athletic, they interviewed a 7-year-old Muslim girl. She was originally from South Asia but living in England. The first sentence of the paragraph set the reader up for the propaganda that followed. The first sentence read, "Nutmegs is a football community for women and non-binary people of color." I thought this movement was all about diversity and inclusion. It doesn't sound like Nutmegs is very inclusive or diverse to me. The club only allows women and the one non-binary Ethiopian living in England. The Athletic tells the story of this 7-year-old Muslim girl, how excited she was about attending her very first soccer match at Wembley Stadium. Oh, she was super duper excited. She's the only girl playing soccer at her school. She was looking forward to watching other women play soccer. This was something she'd never seen before. Girls playing soccer. Haley Bennett, co-founder of Nutmegs, and also what The Athletic calls a diversity and inclusion consultant. She is the person that set up this excursion for the young Muslim girl. Haley Bennett hoped that her seeing this soccer match would affirm the young girl's dream of playing soccer. But it just wasn't meant to be for this young girl. Well, KC, did plans fall through? Did she not attend the game? She went to the game, but she was so disappointed. The pain on that girl's face. Oh, it's just so much for me to bear. I still have nightmares about it. Haley Bennett claimed this young girl's dreams were crushed because she didn't see anyone on the field that looked like her. What 7-year-old kid thinks like that? Growing up, my dad took me to see the Saints all the time. NFL, predominantly black league. Very few of the players looked like me. How many times do you think I complained about it? I never fucking noticed. While I was at the game, I wasn't busy counting the race of the players. The only numbers I cared about were on the scoreboard. Race never entered the equation because my dad, he didn't teach me to care about race. I actually feel bad for that young Muslim girl. At 7 years old, she's already been propagandized by some diversity and inclusion consultant who's really just a grade A shitfuck. If this is what Haley Bennett is teaching children, she don't have any business being around them. The Athletic. They also mentioned the lack of diversity in the crowd at soccer games. This young girl was traumatized. No one in the crowd looked like her. The crowd was filled with evil white people. What the hell do you want them to do? The Athletic mentioned having a racial quota for the English national team to ensure there's more minority representation. Are we going to have racial quotas for the crowd too? How's that going to work? When someone purchases tickets from StubHub, are they going to have to provide their race? I'm sorry, Stuart. We have reached our quota for white people for this event. We're only selling tickets to black people at the moment. Wouldn't that be the very definition of discrimination? Not to mention the fact it's going to be difficult to sell out games. Black people make up 3% of England's population. 3%. Around 1.9 million people. Now, how many of those do you think are diehard soccer fans? Maybe 10%? I don't know. Let's just say 20%. That gives you 380,000 people to rely on to purchase half the tickets to every game. 2 years ago, The Athletic published an article titled, "Why Are Soccer Fans So White?" The answer is simple. They're white because the majority of people living in England are white. You know what's strange? I never see the media question why there aren't more white players in the WNBA, why there aren't more women playing in the WNBA. WNBA, 83% black. I never see the media question why there aren't more white players in the NBA. Matter of fact, last summer, when Kevin Love was the only white player on Team USA, Jalen Rose had a problem with it. He was offended. No, for those of you new to the channel, Jalen Rose, he's the pastor at Woke United Methodist. He gave a sermon last summer condemning Team USA for including Kevin Love. Jalen Rose claimed that Kevin Love was only included due to what he called tokenism. He said Kevin Love was only included because America was too afraid to send an all-black team to the Olympics. The hypocrisy with these people, it never ends, but it gets even better. A couple of weeks ago, UEFA tweeted out this video I'm about to show you. I want you to pay close attention. There's a group of kids. They're waiting by the tunnel after the game, hoping to high-five, maybe even get an autograph from the players. These are mostly white kids, but there's one young black girl in the crowd. Watch what happens. don't have a problem with this. That autograph made that young girl's day. Maybe it's a moment she remembers for the rest of her life. Good for her. I would imagine most of you guys saw it the same way, but you can't think like a logical person. This is one of those situations that requires the woke hat for proper context. All right, now I can properly think like a dumbass. With my woke hat properly infecting my brain, I see that video differently. That player is obviously racist. She bypassed those white kids and went straight for the girl that looked like her. That is racism 101. Those white kids, they came to the game innocent and they went home victims of racism. That's how shit fucks think, right? Just yesterday, we were told this is an example of racism.
Okay, so had that been me, that whole parade would have been in flames. Like, are you serious? You're not gonna speak to my child? And did you see that baby's face at the end, the little one with the pink on? She deserves an explanation. Hello?
Beyonce's former backup singer said it. How dare you pass by my kids? What's the difference? What is the difference between the two clips that I just played you? How come lovers of the woke hug aren't outraged by that first clip? You already know the reason. You see how their argument completely falls apart? Those two situations are identical, but one is considered racism, the other one completely ignored. Well, let me know what you think. The no politics policy at The Athletic lasted one whole month. Give me your thoughts on the two video clips that I shared with you. One clip celebrated by the media, the other clip deemed racist by the media. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_btl84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.